Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. As you guys can see, we have to start today talking about the Miami Heat. We're going to be covering yesterday's slate of games, but we got to start with Miami, man. They blew another big lead to a team they probably shouldn't have blown a big lead to in the Golden State Warriors. On a night in which Curry was 8 of 25 from the field, 5 of 20 from deep, in which he did pretty much all of that scoring in the fourth quarter, was useless until then. This team doesn't have a center right now. This team has Toscano Anderson playing as a makeshift center, with no James Wiseman in the lineup, no Kevin Looney in the lineup, no Draymond Green last night. But Kent Bazemore went off, and Miami couldn't stop him. Miami scored 112 points in regulation plus OT, which is just not good enough. It's just not good enough. And it gets to a point now where eventually we have to start questioning this Miami team. We can only give them the benefit of the doubt for so long. This is obviously a team that had a fairly good regular season last year and then blew up in the bubble, went on their big run, and made it to the NBA Finals. And I've just kind of given them the benefit of the doubt until now that this is a team that is going to be able to get to the playoffs and still be able to make it tough for teams, right? But I don't know how much longer I can continue to believe in that. Surely this team still has some injuries. Marie Harkless is injured, Avery Bradley, Goran Dragic. But the key pieces are there. Iguodala's there, Tyler Hero's there, Precious, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Jimmy Butler, Olynyk, Bam Adebayo. The key boys were there tonight minus Goran Dragic. And with or without Goran Dragic, this team should be winning last night. They should. They just should. They lost the fourth quarter 29-19. They lost the third quarter 30-25. This team had a big lead, and they blew it and just forgot how to score in the fourth quarter, with only putting up 19 in the fourth. Olynyk was 2 of 7, and when Olynyk is 2 of 7, he is, I hate to say it, fellow Canadian, but useless, because his defense just isn't good. It's just not. So when he's not shooting the ball well, he is not a benefit to you on the court. Jimmy Butler struggled to score last night. Adebayo had another good game offensively, which is good. Kendrick Nunn needs to get more PT for me, and he got it last night. But when everyone seems to be healthy, Kendrick Nunn doesn't seem to get PT. But I feel like Kendrick Nunn's been good for this team this year. And he hustles, he works hard, he makes the small plays, he tries defensively. That's what this team needs right now to get back into a winning streak. You need those types of guys to play well and play hard to be able to succeed. And I think they need that from Nunn right now. And so I'm glad he got his PT last night. Duncan Robinson wasn't great from 3 last night either. And then Tyler Hero couldn't buy a bucket last night either. Although he also had 15 assists, or 15 rebounds. Which is like, okay, shout out to Tyler Hero, you got 15 rebounds. But Olynyk has 4, Bam has 5. Iguodala has 2. Nunn only has 1. Now Nunn's a guard, but still, like, where's everyone else getting your rebounds to? That is a little bit worrisome to me, to say the least. Shout out to Precious. He's been a really good rookie season so far. He was plus 17 last night. Plus 17 when they lost, and pretty much everyone was in the negatives. So plus minus doesn't tell everything, but shout out to Precious for playing well so far. Wiggins has looked much better, not having to be the main guy in Golden State. His defense has improved, and his offense has become a lot more efficient and smooth. And Kelly Oubre is having a few better games here now the last few weeks as well, so shout out to him. This Miami team worries me, man. 4-10 now on the road, 11-17. It is still quite likely this team makes the playoffs, but I'm not even guaranteeing that they get back to that anymore. And if they get there, I don't know how good they're going to be. This team has a lot of good players and good talent, and you would think this team would be playing a lot better than they are. But they just haven't yet. It hasn't been there, and hopefully they can piece it together. Quick shout out to Orlando getting their win last night over the New York Knicks. Terrence Ross has been on a good scoring run the last couple of weeks, which this team has needed with all their injuries, and so shout out to him. Moving along to the Atlanta Hawks and Boston Celtics. This is a game, unfortunately, I wasn't really able to watch much of, but shout out to Trae Young and Jason Tatum for having a nice battle last night, and Trae Young was the guy who won the battle. Trae Young finished 40 points along with 8 assists on super efficient shooting. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum was also very good, respectively, with 6 assists, 6 rebounds, and 35 points of his own. It was a very good game the whole way through, and I think we're going to see a lot more Trae Young versus Jason Tatum matchups throughout the years, and that makes me very, very excited. Very good game for both teams, and a very big win for the Atlanta Hawks to get themselves back into a playoff spot. 76ers beat the Rockets fairly comfortably last night. The scoreline would say it was closer than it was. Joel Embiid almost had a triple-double with 31, 11, and 9. If we start getting elite playmaking from Joel Embiid out of the post, then look out. If Joel Embiid starts having the playmaking of Nikola Jokic, then no one stands a chance against Joel Embiid. It's just the way it is. Another team we need to talk about, and this is something I talked about in the Denver Nuggets season preview video, and I got some hate for it. There are some people that did not like my opinion at all about the Denver Nuggets. And my call with the Denver Nuggets was they lost Jeremy Grant, and as much as I thought Jeremy Grant was an overpaid in Detroit at the time, I was very wrong on that because Jeremy Grant's probably now about to be an all-star, or should be an all-star, and has been very much the best player on that Detroit Pistons team and has played very, very well and certainly surpassed my expectations for him. I knew they were going to miss him on this team because they didn't have a good perimeter defender, or I shouldn't say perimeter, a good wing defender outside of him to cover those elite wing players, the 3s, the 4s in the Western Conference. Your LeBron James, your Paul George, your Kawhi Leonard, those types of guys. They didn't have that. Michael Porter was good to start as a small forward, but he is not a good defender by any stretch, and his offense still, even in and of itself, is a work in progress, his off-ball movement and whatnot. But essentially it left them with JaMychal Green, who they acquired, being their main guy at the power forward position and to be that wing defender. And JaMychal Green hurt them last night with some bad fouls late in the game, and that, you could argue, is what lost them the game last night. And they're missing him. They really are. Now, that's definitely not the only issue with this team. They've obviously had some injuries as well. Gary Harris and Will Barton have missed significant time as well, and that'll definitely help when they get back to help in those wing and guard positions and give them some depth. But that was my call at the start of the season, is this team is going to struggle a lot more without Jeremy Grant. And I think this team is going to get bounced in the first round. I truly think they are. I think they're a very good team, and I like this team. And there's a lot to like on this team. Nikola Jokic is very good. Jamal Murray is an up-and-coming star who has elite offensive production and elite shooting, as he showed again last night with his 5 threes on 10 attempts. But this team doesn't quite have the punch or the defense, in my opinion, to be able to get through. Their 5 and their 4 spot are suspect on defense. As much as I love Nikola Jokic on offense, he is not a great defender for the center position. And they don't have an elite wing defender anymore either. They lost that. And Paul Millsap is not that anymore either. And so when he gets back healthy, it's not like he's going to instantly come in and be that guy either. He's just not mobile enough anymore at his age. And so I think they're going to lack a bit of defense in that area, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if they get bounced in the first round, and I'm not surprised at all to see them at 15 and 13 right now. I'm sad because I like this Denver team. I like this Denver team a lot. I like Nikola Jokic. I like Jamal Murray. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think there's a lot to like on this team. I just don't think they have the defense necessary to quite get there. With that being said, Washington have got a few wins in a row here now. Shout out to them. Davis Bertans found a shot last night and hit 35, shooting 9 of 11 from deep. If he can get a shot going to get more consistently for this team, maybe the Wizards can still get themselves into a playoff spot. Karl-Anthony Towns had a much better game again last night, his second game back from the virus. Domantas Sabonis helped Indiana to a win, a 36, 17, and 10 stat line, and Brogdon was clutch as always when they needed him. Brogdon is such a clutch player. I still really feel like Milwaukee, if they had to choose one of Chris Middleton and Malcolm Brogdon, should have chosen Brogdon. I know Middleton's been very good as well, and if we're being honest, it should have been Brogdon over Bledsoe, because if that team right now had Brogdon, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and then they acquired a point guard, whether that was Jrue Holiday or someone else, or Malcolm Brogdon was just the point guard, that team would be completely different right now, and they would have been able to acquire even more beneficial assets than they needed to get rid of Bledsoe and get Jrue Holiday. They could have acquired someone else to make them even better. But with that being said, I've talked about that before. Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls had a 25-point comeback against the Detroit Pistons last night. So shout out to them. Had another rough early start, but then they came guns a-blazing later. Only allowed the Pistons to 12 points in the third quarter while scoring 27 of their own. Zach LaVine finished with 37. Shout out to Jeremy Grant, trying to carry the Pistons. Had 43 points last night, but it wasn't enough. Dame time, man. Dame time is the fourth. He just... Damian Lillard is making his case for MVP right now. 43 points and 16 assists last night. I want to give a shout out to Gary Trent as well. Gary Trent has played very, very well since CJ McCollum has gone out. He's very tenacious with good energy on the defensive end and is an underrated perimeter defender, while also having a very good three-point shot and good scoring ability. He has been very good at since being inserted into the starting lineup. They haven't missed a beat without CJ McCollum, and his Cantor's played well as well without Yusuf Nurkic healthy. You wouldn't know that this team is missing two of their starters right now. They've been playing very well. They currently sit at 18-10 and 10-5 on the road. It's a very good record for them. The only other game I want to touch on from last night is the Jazz against the Clippers. The Clippers just need Kawhi and Paul George back, man. This team just ain't the same without those guys. There's no doubt about it. Lou Will's been trying to carry this team and very well tried again last night, but against the Utah team that no one can beat right now. Having won 20 of their last 21 games. This Utah team is just on another level right now. They have so much depth, so much production from so many places, from Bojan Bogdanovic, although he has struggled again the last few games, Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert has been playing very well, and his impact defensively has been massive. Georges Niang playing valuable minutes, Jordan Clarkson, your potential sixth man of the year. There's just so much to like on this Utah team. They all know their roles. They all play their roles well. And this is without Mike Conley healthy, mind you. They're missing one of their best players. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are new. And follow my socials down below if you want to join me off of this channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.